surrendering to unconditional love. Now, first of all, we must understand what unconditional love truthfully is. When we can start to encounter with love, which is effectively, it's the manifestation of an energy. Now, this manifestation of energy is something which is a very interesting phenomenon. When we start to understand that love itself is a frequency, now, we might originate from this frequency. We might originate from love itself. However, what we do is we are going through a process. And within this process, we are given choice, and choice comes in form of temptation. Now, when we look at this life and we see temptation in its purest form, we understand that when we decide to experience a vibration, such as love, we connect to this vibration, we become this vibration. What we then do is, within this life that we call ourself, we start to interact with decisions which are trying to convince us that there is something greater than the vibration which we are experiencing. Now, there is a lot to this, but the basis of this message is really the foundation of love itself. It's not to say that love is not good for us, yet we must stay focused on the point of existence, which is unconditional love. Now, truthfully, we know in our hearts when love is true. And this is where the pain comes from, is because we know when we truthfully love someone, the love is true. We had a choice, and we do still have a choice. The choice is if our love is true, and I'm talking about love can come in forms of temptation, and ultimately sometimes we might not even have a choice to love someone. For example, family. We know that this person is not good for us, toxic, and we don't have a choice to love them. They're naturally, I'm not talking about love without reason or love without choice. I'm talking about true love within the form of loving someone from a willing existence, when we choose to love someone. And this is where we can really encounter a lot of pain, is because we want to love someone, but the life of which we're living is making it incredibly challenging for us to hold that connection. And for every one of us, the unique experience of learning to love in an unconditional way is unique for every single one of us. We will encounter the hardships, the temptations, the distractions of which life wants us to give up the love in our hearts. Because when we really love someone, our hearts activate, and life knows that this love is good for us because our hearts activate in a way of awareness to grant choice and grant choice. When we choose to give up that love in our hearts, or to let go, because this world is very much programming us with thought to let the love go, what we will understand is that we will go back into the pool of reality, and one day love may come back. It's not the point. The point is that when we choose to love in an unconditional way, what we start to do is we start to accept everything which is trying to take us or distract us from learning to accept loving in an unconditional form. What we will understand is that when we start to love in an unconditional form, we will gain strength and knowledge from a higher state of presence. And this awareness which we're obtaining, or this awareness which we're channeling through the higher form of existence, wherever it's coming from. Maybe it's coming from source, or source of this frequency, as we are channeling the frequency of unconditional love. We will start to understand that love does not need to be how we want to perceive it. In fact, love can be the way that we feel we want to be loved may not necessarily be the way that we are meant to experience love, because this life is trying to teach us how to overcome temptation and distraction. So if life was just as easy as experiencing love and happiness, we would not necessarily need to be here in this existence, as this existence is trying to teach us how to raise to that level of awareness, or raise to that level of existence where we can obtain the knowledge of which we can effectively protect ourselves from the fusion of temptation and distraction. So to summarize, unconditional love is a choice. And that choice which we make when we choose to truthfully love in an unconditional way, we must understand that acceptance is the key element to being able to handle that level of truth. And when we can choose to accept unconditionally, and within our hearts we protect the love of which we feel is pure, we move forward within a frequency of sound which is far greater than any temptation or distraction within the physical world. We take forward with a level of existence of empowerment and honor, which we will carry forth through eternity.